Hello, gorgeous. I am Jay Garcia, etiquette consultant. I am certified under Royal Charter of His Majesty King Charles III. Ladies and gentlemen, listen up. Keep your standards high. Here are things to keep in mind when you want to date for marriage. We're going to be reacting to some TikToks. I'm not going to be too royal protocol about it. I'm going to be more etiquette about it, which means that you are flexible, read the room, and see that things are a bit more casual. These are the things to keep an eye on. A gentleman is an entire package. It's not, oh, he opens the door for me. It's very small details that create the big picture. If you show this to your grandmother, to your best friend, this person is upstanding in every single way.
Oh, nice. Thank you for taking me here.
You're welcome.
All right, I'll get those going and then I'll come back and grab your
Thank
order.
you very much. All right, so I liked what she had mentioned about the scallops. I thought that sounded really good. You know, I'm a big seafood fan, so I think I'm going to do that.
Let me order for you. I'll surprise you. I know what you want.
I hate surprises. you know this place better than me, so.
Yes, I do.
So what are you getting?
I'm getting the ribeye with the mashed potatoes.
So what are you going to order for me then?
The ribeye with the mashed potatoes.
Oh, okay. Really nice.
You don't want to.
You don't like red wine? Not good here or something?
Well, you don't want to add on any calories, do you?
No, but I mean we're on a nice little date, so I think I can ignore it for now.
I'll order you a drink that'll suit what you're looking for.
What the hell am I looking for?
Something with less calories.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, wine does have a lot of sugar. Oh,
I tend to know what women like.
yeah, well, that's good. That's good because not many guys do.
But I'm definitely a cut above the rest.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the.
She's actually going to have what I'm going to have.
What's that?
I'm going to have the.
Either one of you like to add soup or salad tonight?
Yeah, I was gonna do the soup. This. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Oh my god! I can't even fucking talk. Okay, I can't even order. He thinks he's being so nice.
Updates it. It's Nick. Those gentlemen must have made me.
Well, if you don't mind, I'm gonna take care of my bill because.
I do mind. I will go ahead and take care of it.
No. Listen, I've had an experience like this in the past, and I do not want to repeat. So I will definitely.
Well, that's not me.
I-
It will not embarrass me.
Okay, it's not an embarrassment. Like I can also just cash out
No,
you.
it is. It is very much an embarrassment.
Okay. Don't worry about it. Let's just not make a scene. I forgot you like to open the door. Thank you. That's really nice of you. All right, I'm just gonna run into the car. If that's okay.
No, it's not.
Oh my God. Okay. I could have gotten in there a lot faster if I just ran.
The gentleman has to get the
Okay,
door.
that's fine. Thank you.
Yikes! A gentleman does not insist. Just as a disclaimer, I am not coming here as a pickup artist because someone mentioned that in the comments. That hasn't even crossed my mind. This is the proper etiquette. The etiquette is to not make people uncomfortable first and foremost. Keep this in the back of your mind. So if you keep pushing and you are hosting, this means you are the person who chose the place. You are the person who is paying for the date. You invited them, therefore you pay. You also have to keep in mind that a good host chooses a place that is close to the guest or somewhere in the middle. It's preferably something they appreciate, a type of food that they favor. So if they say, I like seafood, then find a seafood place. If you can't afford a seafood place, find a different place. Ask them, what else do you like? A gentleman will have you wait in the lobby or at the door and bring the car to you, especially when it's bucketing outside. Getting your hair wet after getting it done for a date is a nightmare. If he had a coat to cover over you, that's also fine as long as he is genuine about it and it's natural. The problem is with men trying to be gentlemen and understanding this checklist of things that he needs to do on the dates. This guy is obviously trying to lead and be a good example of what a good gentleman is on a date. However, he's missing the point because it's not about pushing, and it sounds like he's doing all the right things, right? He's opening the door, he's fighting her on the bill, he's making sure that she is taken care of in every aspect, because gentlemen are essentially the prime example of if he wanted to, he would. He is offering to pay, but he pushes her. His verbiage is incorrect. It wouldn't be as harsh if he didn't use the word embarrassment. He could have said, your money's no good here, and made it a light joke and had been a positive energy, good feelings, and smiling and laughing it off, don't worry about it. It's on me. Make her feel comfortable and at ease. And the way to do that is by saying, I appreciate it, and just accepted it because she's really pushing it. What you can say is, I got this one, perhaps you get the next one. It sounds like there's not going to be a second date because he was being too pushy. Also, ordering for her instead of getting to know her, asking her first, what do you like on the menu? It was cut off when she was ordering, when he was ordering. I didn't hear what he ordered. If you can correct me in the comments below if he said something and I just misheard. This is a situation where I would immediately let him take the lead, but when you want to order for a lady, understand what she wants to order first. And second, I would do this as time progresses. So say if you guys are dating seriously, then you are a bit more motivated and more understanding. You have more data that you've collected over time to spoil her when it comes to ordering food. The etiquette is technically to let the lady order first, then you can order. What I like to do is I like to keep a menu on the side in case we find ourselves becoming hungry still and we're bantering for quite a long time in between courses. Or if I see her wanting to order more and she cannot decide, I will get the other option that she wants and have it available for her, have extra plates, or have an ability to share the food a little bit more a la carte, which in my personal opinion is easier to do as opposed to ordering 2 meals of, oh, that's too many calories. I feel like that was such a slight too. That was not kind to say, you want to go easy on the calories or you're worried about calories. Obviously, on a date, you want to spoil someone. It's a decadent moment going out to eat. It's a privilege to go out to eat. That's the time that I order the butcheriest thing when I'm out with my friends. We order pasta, we eat carbs. That's a sign of love, you know? So let me know in the comments below what you think. There were quite a few icks with how he was cutting her off, not letting her speak, and genuinely getting to know her. The point of a date is to get to know someone, and don't scare them away with all these overwhelming tactics like alpha males tell you. It starts at home first. Everything becomes more natural when you already do these things, and it sounds like he's not in practice of these things. Potentially he does this already and is pushy on every date. This is how he is. But the way to present good manners is by practicing when you are alone. It's what you do behind the confines of your home, eating with your utensils close to the plate properly, when you're not taking too much space when you're seated at a table because everyone has an equal amount of space. You want to speak as graciously as possible to everyone around you and include everyone. That's the whole point of etiquette. And being hygienic when you're passing certain plates or sharing bottles of, say, sparkling water. At first, it's good to ease into getting to know the person, reading the room, and then applying what you know. I don't know if this was staged, but she had her phone on the table, which I also think is rude because when you have your phone on the table, even if it's off, just have it in your bag or have it in your pocket, wherever is comfortable whilst sitting. That doesn't ruin the lines of your suit or your dress. It creates distance when it is on the table. So I don't know if this is staged. It sounded very pushy. So it could be real. Who knows? These are things to consider.
Correct. Yeah. Woo! Okay, Batty. Oh, and he kissed her hand! He kissed her hand! And they took selfies before getting out. And they're holding hands. Okay, okay.
Sweet.
Goals.
Yeah.
And he fixed her. We've been watching couples go by how long? For 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
And this is the first time. Is he gonna open the door?
Look at that.
Yes. Queen!
Didn't let go of her hand.
Go!
Is this in the South? He seems like a Southern gentleman, is the vibe I'm getting from the video. It looks like they probably have been dating for a while. If this is a first date, I would be very impressed. He is rolling out the red carpet for her. He parked the car, got out to open her door. And gentlemen, my rule is that if it is the very first time meeting, she's coming into your car for the very first time, this is the time when you open the door for her. Get out of the car, give her a proper hug, a proper greeting, kiss on the cheek, whatever the culture it is that you are from. I teach predominantly British etiquette, the most formal. I know that's tumultuous to say these days, but also I live in America and I've lived on 4 continents, so I know what it's like. Everywhere you go is a little bit different. I am specifically speaking on Western etiquette and the most formal. Those are the tiers that I am going by. American is going to be the most casual, it's going to be the most open hearted. British is going to be the most formal. What might seem cold is really just reading the room and getting to know you naturally instead of pushing things. The next would be continental, which is European continental, which is the one that a lot of people gravitate towards, which is perfectly admissible in court. All of the above are fabulous. What I like to do, the car rule is key. If it's meeting for the very first time, it's a different story. People might go against me when I say this. This is just for the sake of the example would be if you have a valet, the valet will open the door for you. It's okay for the man to get into the car this way. This is just my opinion. This is beside my etiquette knowledge. This is what works for me. For other people, it might not work. If it works for him to open your car door, that makes sense. So say, for example, you're going back to your car after the date, after the restaurant, then he opens the door if there was no valet situation and you simply parked in a parking bay. However, if it's the end of the night and he's dropping you off home, however, when he's dropping you off, I think it's okay if a man doesn't get out of the car because there's a ton of traffic and you can't really park and it's the middle of the street because you live in the city. I think it's okay as long as he stays and watches you walk into your home. Those are my rules, but you guys might prefer someone who walks you straight to your door. I have friends who hate when people pick them up from their house and know where they live or drop them off home. They prefer to be walked to their Waymo, to their Uber, or to their car by the guy and make sure that you get home okay. It's different for everyone, which is why when I say one hard rule, I can overlook it sometimes because I realize, wait, it's a matter of security and safety. That's a huge deal for us ladies, especially in the city. It also varies on the man and she can communicate that within the date. The second thing here, aside from the door, is le baisement. This is when you kiss a lady's hand. The rule is you can kiss any lady's hand who looks of age that is not yet married. And you can tell who's not yet married, especially after 6 p.m. if she's wearing her tiara. So tiaras are also a sign of social standing. They will tell you if a lady's a duchess, if she's a marquise, if she's a baroness, if she's higher or whatever title she has, but it also indicates she's a married woman, especially if it's black tie or if it's white tie, depending. So this is how to tell if a woman is married and how to tell also if a woman is single. And another sign, the ring. Kissing a lady's hand is something you actually do when you first meet and introduce yourself. And when you introduce yourself, especially to a lady if she's with someone else, it depends where you're from, but this is originally a French royal court thing, and I've actually experienced this from contemporary French men who is my age. All the ladies love him. He's handsome, smart, fabulous. He also does le baisement. It's funny because a lot of Frenchmen I know who were raised properly, they will have the wildest lives and be bad boys and be crazy, but their manners never go away. That is something that I have learned in my personal experience. The reason why I ask if he is from the South originally is because in the South, they actually carry a lot of older European traditions still till this day. Unknowingly or consciously, it's carried within their traditions, or they have been exposed to certain types of schools, like finishing schools as mine, DixonEtiquette.com, that teach gentlemen how to act properly. Finishing schools are meant to finish your education, meaning you are well-rounded in every subject, speaking with people, your posture, which is social graces, comportment, and elocutions, how you articulate yourself for people to understand you very well, simply, clearly. It's not about looking smart or looking superior. It's simply socializing well enough that people can see who you are faster and in a more polite, gentle manner, as opposed to being obnoxious. But there are so many ways to do this without losing your personality. So don't be discouraged. The thing about him fixing her necklace that's so exciting, this is actually known in evolutionary psychology. It's called preening. If you ever see chimpanzees nitpicking, the woman knits literally out of the man's hair, out of his fur. I don't know if chimpanzees technically have hair or fur. Let me know in the comments below. This is a sign that you care for someone. You'll fix their hair, you'll make sure there's no dust on their clothes, you'll fix their necklace, make sure they look like $1,000,000 because they represent you and you want them to look good and you also love them. When you look at someone, you see your future, your legacy in a way. I heard this amazing quote from a 90-something billionaire who said the most important decision in your life is whom you marry. It affects 90% of all of the rest of your decisions in your adult life. It's very important that you want your person to be represented well because it reflects on you.
The most important decision you're going to make in your life, what do you think it is?
Who you marry?
The spouse. The most important decision you make in your entire life is the spouse, because the wrong one is a disaster. The right one is fantastic. Now, I've had the right one for 68 years. Everything we've done together as a team.
So you've been together since you were my age. I'm 25.
Yes,
Can you define the word love?
great difficulty. The feeling you have for each other, the appreciation you have of each other, the respect, the positive attitude you carry to each other, being there for each other without any equivocation whatsoever. There's never an issue, should I, shouldn't I? If it's something that is important for the family or important to your spouse, you do it. Simple love is a conglomeration of attitudes, feelings. I mean, there's just so much that's part of it. It's almost impossible to define.
It says, my dad never took my mom out on dates, so now I teach my sons not only the importance of taking a girl out, but to dress up for them too. Wow. Wow. Applaud, applaud. My father was someone who took my stepmother out on not just dates, but grand gestures. When I look back, I realize that is the ideal date first impression I would want from a guy. He would make her dress up. He had an amazing collection of suits. Till this day, I would borrow his clothes and he would offer to let me use them, but obviously too big. I love tailoring. I love lasting style, timeless style. The way he treated her was above and beyond. It's stuff of dreams. And when I say shirt, I do not mean t-shirt. I mean shirt, a dress shirt, which is the only shirt that I mean when I say shirt. Dress shirt. That's an Americanism. This is how you're properly supposed to be dressed. Long sleeves. Make sure that it's a breathable material and you're good to go. Always wear underwear on the inside. T-shirts are underwear. And I've known this especially because my father wore t-shirts as underwear underneath his beautiful shirt. It doesn't have to be a $9,000 bespoke collection of shirts. You can get a shirt from H&M, $10, and it's a good start. You can do a lot with that shirt. You will move up in the ranks very far. And then also, teaching your sons how to dress up properly, especially for a date, is a huge sign of self-respect because they're starting at such a young age that this is instilled in them. And I love, love, love this because he's teaching his children correctly. The American way, their hair is coiffed beautifully. He has a blazer on top. This kid with jeans. I wouldn't wear jeans, especially in the evening, but it's a style choice. And they're doing a good job of it, especially so young. Look, they look like they've already graduated from prep school. They look so fresh and clean. That's all I gotta say. I would be so proud if I was their mommy. I love the fact that they match too. That's an extra step beyond self-respect. How you dress in your everyday is how you treat yourself. How you see yourself that day is how you're going to feel for the rest of the day. That's why they say when you go to church, if you are religious or grew up going to church, in growing up they would say wear those clothes your Sunday's best all day long because you act a different way and you carry yourself a different way. You care more. We should be comfortable and more familiar with the idea of caring more, making sure everything that we touch is beautiful around us. It's not high maintenance for us because it's the standard, it's the bar, it's just the entry, the bare minimum. A lot of times the baseline can be in HE double hockey sticks. I will be the first to say that. I'm quite disappointed when people don't dress up for a date. It shows lack of effort. He's in a t-shirt and flip-flops and jeans, whatever shoes, and not even cleaned. It doesn't matter if they're cheap, but make sure that you're put together. What matters is that your clothes are pressed, that there are no creases, that they don't smell, they're in good condition, essentially. They don't have cat hair all over them, which is also why I avoided wearing black for a very long time, which is why it's good to have a Kent brush, depending for what material, cashmere wool, cotton, linens, depends. It makes a huge difference.
What are some tips on being a gentleman when you're taking a girl on a first date?
Be kind, be polite, be respectful. You know, if you can anticipate things before they happen, even better, right? It's like
Be
people
prepared, right?
be prepared. You know, people said open the door, but open the door. Don't just do that because, okay, now you know to open the door. You're doing that because, hey, you know that they're getting out. So you're ready and you're already opening the door because you're anticipating that. Depends on your conversation. If they kind of drop a hint or you're listening and they say something.
Take mental notes of what they like and stuff.
Exactly, and maybe next time you bring something or you do something that that you guys talked about, that's like being prepared, anticipating. Girls like that because it means that you're paying attention. Flip it around for a guy, same thing.
I had this girl one time. She bought me some cookies, and actually that made my day. That made my whole week. And I was like, oh, she didn't even ask for the cookies, but she knew I like cookies, and she made them and bought them for me. I was like,
Yeah,
touched my heart a little bit. I was like, damn, this might be the one, just for something little like that. So,
yeah. They
make your man something. He might like it. He might like you more.
For anyone watching, the way to Rodrigo's heart is easy. You just pour like 500 grams of sugar into anything. That's all he cares about. That's all he needs.
It's a really good point the gentleman on the left made, how anticipation is the ultimate service. Let me walk you through this. The whole point of a 5-star hotel, there are 7-star hotels, there are beyond what people see. It's a privilege. When you experience a 5-star hotel, the whole point of the luxury of a 5-star hotel is the fact that they're anticipating to accommodate you. There is a long checklist that they have to meet of requirements before presenting themselves as a 5-star hotel, because they can get the 5th star off because they're lacking in one of these services. Usually there are things like fresh flowers every single day or different times of day. Opening the door is very, very, very basic. And that's something that I would do for absolutely anyone, not just a date. If I am walking, there happens to be a person that is in a close distance, I'm most likely going to open the door for them, hoping they didn't spit at me, do something violent, or say something horrible. I've seen people with a full family open the door for me, but then a guy walked in front of me and it was my date. He didn't even open the door, he just let it shut behind him. This needs to be said, apparently. This was years ago. Also, I've experienced men just driving away right after they drop you off. It's essentially the same feeling of being pushed out of the car and then a guy speeding off. It was that exact same feeling. And I felt kind of abrupt. Anticipation is essentially expecting that someone's going to ask. It's the mindset of, I've been wanting you to ask me. I cannot wait for you to ask me. I would be insulted if you didn't ask me. I have friends like this where I was asking them for some real estate advice and they said, I have been dying. I would be insulted to not help you. So they would help me with a lot of questions that I had. It made me feel good that they were expecting this and they were welcoming it. That's the ease and comfortability that they were offering to make me feel at home and say, oh, this is a totally normal question. You might feel a little stupid, but the fact that you communicated it with me, I want to confirm that you're not, because this is a very normal thing that a lot of people wonder, and you're not crazy. When you anticipate, you're already prepared for the good things that are about to happen and the good outcome that's going to happen, hopefully. Depending on how you deliver, it sounds like he's very aware that opening the door is so bare bones. You'd absolutely do that for anyone, for a pregnant woman, for a person with a lot of parcels. I've seen people with parcels blocked up in front of their face trying to open the door, and people will open the door right in front of them and let it close behind them because of feminism, specifically contemporary feminism, which is a whole other argument. I'm not going to get into that, but I don't think that you have to be a certain gender to open the door for someone. That a good manners that everyone has. And also for the cooking, if you are not an expert cook, learn to cook for yourself. You can share that joy. When you do find something that you absolutely love to make, you can share that with someone else. That's also a sign of love, when you can share the things you absolutely adore with people that you care about and you put effort into that. They appreciate it, especially when it's something you know that they might like or they can see that you love. Then that's an extra layer of special.
Who are the flowers for?
A friend.
Or something more?
Maybe a little more. We'll find out.
Is this a date that you're like picking them up?
Yeah, it's the first date. I'm trying to find her actually. She don't know how to use maps.
You got her flowers for the first date? How'd you meet?
On Instagram. I swiped up.
Did you use the fire emoji like all guys do?
Sure.
What about the 100 emoji?
Nah, we keep it just the fire emoji.
And what'd she say?
Let's go out. Oh, I found it. I'm gonna see you guys.
There she is. Oh my god. She's actually like cute. She's wearing cargo pants, a cropped tee. Wait, this is so cute. I'm actually like not okay. He's bringing her flowers right now and they're hugging. They're hugging for a long time.
This looks like Central Park. Let me know in the comments below if I'm incorrect, if it's somewhere in Chicago or somewhere else. That's beautiful. I absolutely love the idea of bringing flowers on a first date. Just make sure they're not allergic. I have friends who are allergic to nuts, where if I ate peanut butter before I see them and I breathe, they will go into shock. Their eyes will swell up and it's a nightmare. As a heads up. Second, choosing the flower is very important. She might tell you what kind of flower she likes. She wears a lot of a certain color. When it comes to flowers, it can be interesting. On a first date, I think it's a good idea. However, every single time, this is just my personal experience, every time I have dated someone who's brought flowers on a first date, they have been a psychopath. They would stalk me, do all of these weird things, especially when they buy cheap flowers. And I'm talking the ones that look like they're about to spoil in a few hours. When it comes to flowers, I am very, very particular. And a lot of girls who have their own places, who are grown, a lot of grown women, let me be 100% authentic. I'm so afraid to ruffle feathers on here sometimes because I get so many weird comments. A lot of women who curated their own tastes have specific reasons for why they like certain flowers. Not everybody does. The younger I was, the more receptive I was to certain flowers. It means that they thought about it. It was a nice gesture to get $12 flowers from the grocery store. Now, it depends what type of grocery store because that says a lot of thought. You don't look a gift horse in the mouth. However, I believe that flowers are better the more time you know the person, and obviously the bouquets will be more grand. My girlfriend, who's a very normal person, she is not looking for someone who has 10 yachts. She is just looking for a good man with a steady job. She's engaged. She was looking out for me at one point where she saw the flowers a guy gave me on a first date and she threw them on the floor. He left the sticker that said $12 on it and she said, Gia, I sneezed $12, and she threw them on the floor. And I was laughing so hard because, one, I knew the guy was really creepy. Two, I knew the flowers were just a way to buy me and believe anything he said because he was crazy. Diagnosed with all these things. I'm not kidding. I do not use this lightly. Anyway, this is just a personal anecdote. You can fast forward if you want. Depending on the type of flowers, say, for example, Sex and the City has brainwashed us with saying carnations are filler flowers. I think carnations are brilliant because they last forever, which is probably why people think they're filler flowers, that it can be that or the way they look. I like them because certain breeds stay longer. I love permaculture. I love botany, planting and farming, why I became a farmer. My girlfriend pointed out to me, when a guy buys you flowers, it is a very thoughtful bouquet and it's not cheap. Flowers are very expensive, especially for a regular bunch of really well-picked, beautiful, just bloomed roses. Those are really a lot of painstaking work and time. I know I would trim roses all the time. I would open the roses myself, and that also made me see the quality of a bouquet really tells you a lot about the gentleman. There are lots of people I know who get an $8 bouquet of different flowers from Trader Joe's, but they're already losing their life and wilting. That's why they're so cheap and they're gone within a day and moldy in a vase within a day. Also, when you bring flowers as proper etiquette, when you are coming to someone's home, giving it as a gift, bring a vase. Usually when someone is bringing it to a party, you want to bring it to a vase, especially because the host might be busy with 1,000 things. They're cooking, watching the people, making sure everything is set up properly. You do not want to give them another task to do. It's a very careful, particular gift. Also, the flower's meaning. In other countries, a chrysanthemum might be death, and it's a funeral flower. A white flower might be death. In other countries, red rose might mean something else and it's not appropriate to give, or pink or yellow, depending on the type of color. Yellow is a break of flowers, what they say. It depends on your culture, what you think. So you need to ask the person first about the type of flowers, meanings of the flowers that they love, and flowers that they absolutely hate. If they have any, if that's something, then I feel like it makes more sense to bring flowers. But flowers on a first date can ruin the impression depending on the girl, or it can make the impression. So if she's younger and doesn't have a lot of experience with a guy buying her flowers, in my experience, the longer I was married to someone, the more fabulous the flowers were. The more grand the bouquet. Sometimes I would get multiples of them. That showed me a lot also the power of a good bouquet. A lot of people might disagree with me, but it's the truth. You're gonna bump into a lot of girls who are particular. I actually saw a remix of this. I love the Wades. The Wade brothers are twins and they're influencers from the UK. Brian Boy is one of the fashion bloggers I've been following literally since I was 14 years old. He does kind of a side-eye post where he stitches himself in with a black Amex.
See, I believe you should be a gentleman at all times. Not one condition or situation should be able to take you off being a gentleman or not. See, fellas, and there's a way to do this. You should be a gentleman regardless of how you're treated, regardless of who you're around, regardless if they're old or young, regardless of how they talk to you. You should deal with yourself and carry yourself with class out here. Be respectable, because you shouldn't let any woman or any person or anything take you off of that game here. That's how you hold your frame. And sometimes in order to do that, even when you walk her through the door, you still be the gentleman. See, let me give you context. Different doors require different ways to walk her through. See, when you walk her through the door, there's two ways to do this. Number one way, if you are familiar with the place and you've been there before and you understand in your head it's a safer environment, you open the door for her and you can let her walk first while you're right behind her because you're secure with the environment to come. The second way is if you are unfamiliar with the environment, you can walk her through the door, but you go first. You go first to secure that this is a safe environment for both of you, and that's how you can start to act like a gentleman. When you start opening doors for her, don't just open any door. Think about, do you know this place? And you can allow her to walk through first. If you do not know this place, you walk in first with her right here, just so you can assess the situation where you're at, so you can make the best decision on where you're going to go in there, or you need to bounce. A little etiquette for y'all, but my whole original point was don't let anybody take you off your gentleman stuff. Be a gentleman, be classy, regardless of who you're around. See, if you're going to complain about her being conditionally feminine or conditionally this, you should be unconditionally a gentleman, regardless of where you are. That's called can't take you off your frame. Can't let people control you.
This is a great video, and I feel like this should have been the first to set the precedent for the prevailing sentiment that I want to state. Being a gentleman is not something that you can switch on and off. This is actually something that I pointed out to someone as they said, no, I will stop being a gentleman for this person because they're being so rude. The gentlemanly thing to do is to keep calm and carry on. That is the entire essence of being a gentleman. What he's saying is true. Same goes for ladies. Ladies, you are never to change to become something that you are not because someone's putting you in an uncomfortable or dangerous situation. You still remain gracious and kind. Take the high road. I know it's not easy. I will be the first to tell you. If you keep coming across this scenario where you're around people who aren't putting you in a soft, feminine place, letting you just be yourself naturally, and you're on edge and you're masculine. Same with gentlemen. If you find a woman who's constantly challenging you for all the wrong reasons, for example, there are things that are fixable. One never complains, criticizes, or corrects. He is presenting it in a way that's not threatening or super alpha male cocky. He is telling the truth about how you'll be treated in this world when you act a certain way. When you are constantly above, people will actually respect you more because of the boundaries, the lines that you do not cross as a person, and they will expect more of it from you. Even when everyone else is wrong, they still expect you to be right. So there is something that adds to your character when you push yourself and you keep this as your natural state of mind. It's not easy to do. There are times where someone will spit in your face and you don't have to react. You don't have to punch them. You can just call the police and they're in trouble. Separate yourself from the situation and look for new friends. Look for people to surround you that do not put you in this constant challenging mode. Contention should be healthy and not be pushed in an aggressive manner, but in a way that can speak your language. And something that ladies and gentlemen understand is how to speak every single person's language by reading the room. If I meet a bunch of people into tech, I will talk to them in a way that is relatable, which is why I make myself well-rounded in every subject as much as possible. Be open-minded or ask them about references, not necessarily that I should know everything. The whole etiquette of walking through a room first is a really good point. There is a very specific time and place to do this. Typically, it's with restaurants and events or beautiful hotels. Any indoor place you have been to before and you know the coast is clear, everything is safe, it's a secure spot, then you don't have to worry about the area. Typically, when a man is outside walking, you are safe on the sidewalk, he will stand between you and the street. Nice places in Los Angeles and New York have crime. If there's a person who looks like they're not stable and you walk by them, the man will walk in between you and then go back to walking out on the street side if that's the situation. He is 100% correct in this. That's really gallant. Even when I'm with my friends, I'm very small. And this is something that I have noticed my male friends do for just platonic friends and they have a wife or a fiance. They are still going to make sure all of the women there are protected, and he'll be kind of like our security guard. You want to get to know them, so you want to see them in that space and be themselves and shine, glow how they are. These are all particularly within dating for marriage. Keep this in the back of your mind. If you want more content like this, subscribe, click the bell, tell all your friends, watch this several thousand times. If you want more etiquette and a deeper dive into how to treat people well, strengthen your relationships, personal to yourself with self-respect and professional, visit DixonEtiquette.com. It's my etiquette Etiquette course, and I am in the midst of giving it a facelift right now. So get it with the dirt cheap price that it has. Get that locked in, and you'll have access to the new and improved version as we're working on it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.